Why you should keep elderly family at home instead of in nursing homes. Imagine, you're 80 years old, you're sitting in your favorite chair with a warm drink in your hands. You're looking out over the garden. You're in the house that your children grew up in. They have all moved out and are married with children of their own. You're going to be a great grandparent. You've lived a happy life. You had a career you loved. You made a difference in many people's lives. You're well respected in your family and in the community. Good morning, Mr. Jones. Time to get up. You're jarred awake, confused. You look around and realize that you're not at home. You were dreaming. As your blankets are swiftly ripped off, someone rolls you on your side. The strong, unmistakable smell of incontinence, adult diapers, and hospital disinfectant reminds you that you're not at home. The stroke you had last month makes it impossible to tell these strangers that you're cold. Your mind still works, but your body won't cooperate. You're trying to get the words out, but your concentration is broken as you're being undressed. They're hurting you now. Undressing you, they wipe your private areas like you're a baby. Your dignity is gone. They put you in clothes you don't want to wear. Where is your family? Who are these people? You want to go home. Some people think that placing a family member in a nursing home is the best choice because they're safe and cared for, but unfortunately this is not true. I've been a certified nursing assistant for over 10 years and I've seen firsthand what goes on inside nursing homes. According to the National Library of Medicine, in institutions such as nursing homes, 64% of staff members have reported that they have committed elder abuse in the past year. Today, I'm going to tell you about the elderly population and why it's important to allow them to live at home or with family members for as long as possible. By the end of my speech, you'll have the knowledge you need to make important decisions for your aging loved ones and to plan for your own golden years. I'm going to tell you about what care is required in nursing homes versus the reality of what actually happens, the social isolation experienced, and the negative consequences that happen when the elderly is not able to age at home. Nursing home fact versus fiction. One thing that some people believe is that patients will have around-the-clock care, but unfortunately, this is not true. Current Florida state law only requires 3.5 hours of direct care per patient per day. That's all care from feeding the patient, showering, taking them to the bathroom, physical therapy. That doesn't even leave enough time to say hello. Many believe that patients will be safe if they need someone immediately. Law only requires 1 nurse per 40 residents and 1 CNA per 20 residents. That's not enough. Another myth is that nursing homes are clean and sanitary, but the reality is 82% of nursing homes were cited for infection control, and that was before COVID. Speaking of COVID, that brings me to our next topic. I've told you about the common misconceptions, and now I want to tell you about the issue of loneliness during the pandemic. There aren't many studies done before the pandemic. Some articles stated that the reason was quality of life is subjective, which is true, but I think the pandemic has finally put the spotlight on care and happiness of nursing home patients. Social isolation of residents. Only 5% of patients reported having visitors each week, compared with 56% before the pandemic. 93% of residents reported that they didn't leave the facility each week for routine activities like shopping or family visits, and that's compared to 42% before. only 28% reported that they went outside for fresh air at least once a week, compared with 83% before the pandemic. Now that you know about social isolation and loneliness patients faced during the pandemic, I want to tell you about the negative consequences of now not allowing patients to age at home. There is a loss of self-worth, no choices. When someone moves into a nursing home, they can't bring much of anything. A couple of pictures, a week's worth of clothing, a TV, and a phone is about all you can have. You have to say goodbye to all your pets, loved ones, and your home. Which brings us to the cost. The average nursing homes in Florida cost over $100,000 per year. The average length of stay in a nursing home before death is only 13.7 months. 53% of people die within 6 months. Now that you know why your elderly family members should age at home instead of nursing homes. If you have loved ones in nursing home, how many of you will promise to visit them and make sure they're being properly cared for? Please visit often and ask questions, and keep showing up at various times of the day, even unexpectedly. Will you take it a step further and make a solid plan for yourself and for your families and your future?